right, day 2 of padded practices, and thankfully, no injuries. We got some clarifications, one bad and one pretty good on our cornerbacks. Get into that, get into some of the coverage today, where this offensive line has been handling things. But whatever we're doing, we've got to keep in mind how potent this front is. And really what I want to talk about today is our linebacking group. Willie Gay brings a piece we didn't have. And Dotson and Gay and Brooks, along with the rest, this, I think, might be the best linebacking group. And when you pair it with this front, clearly it's context to the offensive line, and our blocking assignments now going on without Brewer and a young guy in Savaianaya and Jackson kind of coming back and Daniels coming back. We've got to keep that. It's not an equal measurement. It's not a clear eval now, but clearly this front is dominating. So that's what I want to talk about today, guys. So please don't forget to hit the like, subscribes, and notification bells and comments. I love the comments. The algo gods love the comments. I love them too, so that's nice. But you never know what the algo gods want. Thankfully, it's jiving with what I like is the comments. So that's the whole deal. Guys, Kohou's out for this season. Terrible for him. He's a good guy. He saved us in 22, I mean, he was a guy we were really looking forward to as a player. We had a UFDA, and he had the big 22 season. Little drop off, but the tail end of last year was phenomenal. It was pretty good. Good. I don't want to get too crazy. Maybe I'll get it on sub. And we were really looking to see him step up. It's a shame for him. His pocket's been hit. His career, it just really took a big step back. So definitely pray for that guy. He's a great guy. But then Ashton Davis, who had the cast on crutches, looked pretty grim. They're saying it's not going to be a short-term thing, they don't think. But at some point, he could return to the season. That's good news, too. But I'm going to show you our defensive back group from last year. And when you pair it with this front that we got, the linebacking group, and you look at the mixes between the two defensive backfields, even with the loss of Kohou, I don't think we're really that far off. I mean, clearly, in the cornerback group, losing Ramsey hurts. Whatever you think about him, he's still a quality player. But then you add Minka into it, it's not really much different, and maybe even a little better this year in some ways. We've got to see how Jack Jones and Hilton play and all that. But I think this front could be dominating. So let's take a look at this little Mage from Dolphins Muse. I like Dolphins Muse. Check them out. They offer some good information. But they showed it's not all the guys. But last year, we had Jalen Ramsey, clearly a purple, a definite asset. Fuller, he could have been, but he was out most of the year. So you got to say, well, he really wasn't on the team. Kadar had the phenomenal or very good back end to his season. He's not going to be here. But then Poyer and Holland, they weren't good. So it's like 3 reds, 1 green, and 1 purple, not accounting for the rest of the squad. But then you look at this year, you got Storm Duck, who's definitely an unknown. We got to see. He played a good amount of snaps last year, so you can add him to the top. So he's going to be roughly in that same area, or a little bit better. Hilton, I think, solid. He's a little bit older. He's got a little bit of injury history, but the guy is physical, and he definitely brings something good to us. I definitely compare him to Kohou. And Minka is comparable to Ramsey. Ashton Davis is out if he's gimpy, but if he gets back, he's got to be certainly as good, if not better, than Poyer or Holland, who had terrible seasons last year. Right now, it is a little bit of a concern because you got Davis, who knows when he's getting back, and if when he gets here. But then you got Jack Jones. And Jack Jones, I put an orange here, but this guy could easily go to a green or maybe somewhere between green and purple because he was used in 22 to shut Hill down. Special defense, special style. But this guy's speed and his veteran status and his desire not to be cast off from the NFL might have him having a good season. So really, when you look at it, I mean, how much difference is there even with the loss of Kadar? Obviously, you got Marshall in the background. Let's see how he steps up. Bonner, I don't know. But Storm Duck probably is going to get a little bit better. And Marshall, you don't know. So in a way, not that last year's secondary was good. It wasn't. But this might be equal to it or a little bit better, possibly, if things play out and we don't get any more injuries. We're definitely thin. But when you compare it to the front, and remember that, you're playing with a secondary and a D front and the linebackers tied together. And one of the things that was my concern is I like Brooks. He's very physical, but he's not bringing the wood. He dropped the weight so he could be more of a modern linebacker. Dodson's not really great in a run game, but exceptional in the pass game, makes plays. Brooks can kind of do it all, but he's not a great attack, stack, and shedder. He's a pretty good blitzer, but Willie Gay's been dominating for 2 practices, and he's a big guy, and he's looking to really put his name out there and make a mark. And he said last year with the Saints towards the tail end, he kind of lost his focus. But you go look at him with KC for those 2 years, he was phenomenal. Not all the seasons, but he had 2 phenomenal seasons. And you bring a big guy who could be physical, who can blitz, who can attack, stack, and shed, and you put it in the mix with Brooks and Dodson, who can cover. You've got a full linebacking group. And then Grant, he's been hot and cold, but the guy's young. You got to expect it. But this kid's potential is high. Then you got Sealer. Then you got Phillips, who's looking like maybe he's not going to come out to shoot cold. He might come out a little hotter than after his last injury. Chubb looks to be 100%, although he's not 100% of what he used to be, but he's pretty close, it looks like. And then you got Chop. Kamara's in a rotation. And then you got Jordan Phillips is another guy you could bring in there. This group is huge. And if we're playing the kind of defense that I'm thinking, where, all right, we're going to keep everything in front of us, not get burned deep too much. We're looking like we're bringing pressures and dropping. So there's going to be, it looks like maybe it's not going to be as zone heavy as I thought. It might be more aggressive, especially when you add Jack Jones and add Hilton. We still will be a very potent defense in the red zone. A very potent defense on second and third and shorts, And so there is a possibility here. I'm not trying to sell you hopium, but when you look at that front 7, it's bringing some serious potential, and there's not many warts there. There's a little bit. You're going to worry about a little bit of injury if Brooks goes down. I'm not liking Gay in there all the time. But really, this defensive front and what we're seeing in the second, Hilton and Jones, big ads with Minka. So I don't think we're going to be as barren as maybe people thought. You never know. You got to see. But it's kind of parallel to what we had last in the secondary. And I'm looking forward to seeing Gay blow through that front on opposing fronts and blow these plays up. And the thing is, with our D front, and then Gay there's a little bit bigger with a Brooks, and maybe somebody pulled Dotson out on like a first down type thing, we're able to wrap that front up even smaller because we've got these big guys who can soak up blocks, demanding double blocks. So there is potential. There is potential here, and we've got to let us see it play out. It could nosedive. We'll see. But it's not certain. Like when we signed Stretch Armstrong and we didn't have Hilton and we didn't have Jones. So, but I want to get back into one little bit here about the front, the offensive front. Now, TD's been doing a really good job. Some people don't like him because of his stance on Tua. I'm not a big fan of his takes on the Tua take, but you got to listen to people. He's got other things that are of value. But he did a great job. He's kind of taken over for Omar Kelly for me of these play-by-play stuff. Maybe Omar's still doing it. I can't catch it. But he did it here. He did it yesterday. It wasn't looking good. There was a lot of pressure, a lot of run stops. It's a little bit similar today. But again, we have to have the context of this pretty tremendous front going against a work-in-progress offensive line. Not to excuse it. But we've got to wait and see a little bit longer. If Brewer was in here, I'd be, freaking, but he's not. So here's TD. You could see The purple boxes are where there's pressure. There's only 2 pressures on all 23 of these plays, which is better than yesterday. There was a lot of false starts. There was a lot of drop snaps, but there's a lot of moving pieces. So I'm not going to get crazy on that. We had some good stuff in the pass game, and that could mean, well, they're taking advantage of the secondary, or it could mean they're just really good. But, but you got Waddle, you got Washington, you got Achane, you got a lot of weapons here, and they're comfortable with each other. So there's a little bit of advantage with all these moving pieces in the secondary. The run game wasn't so hot. You can see 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. 7 plays that didn't go anywhere. There were 3 runs. There was a run to the left that was successful. Madison's been having a pretty darn good camp up the middle, breaks tackles, nice gain. Run to the right for 4 yards. But, you look at it, you got 2 yards, a few yards to the left. Run right, no gain. Run left, no gain. Run right, stuffed. Run left, no gain. But is it them or is it the tight ends? Julian Hill was on the one where he ripped the guy's helmet off and didn't get a penalty. So we've got to wait and see how it plays out. But I'm just trying to put this data point there. But then you can see on the next series, it was 15 plays, and you got some more pressure. Zach was pressured. Willie Gay with a sack on Zach. 2 was sacked in the red zone. No bueno. Kamala, nice sack on Zach. So 3 of these was Zach, which is a lot different than Tua. But still, you got 4 pressures out of 15. 1, 2, 3 sacks, which is not hot to trot. The run game had 1 successful for a middle possible TD, which is nice, but you had handoff left, no gain. Handoff left, stuff, no gain. Who was in there? I don't know. But you could clearly see it's not being successful with this run game, and there is some pressure. But guys, we're working with 3rd-string centers. We're moving the centers around with Brunskill and Meyer. We're moving guys back and forth all over the place. We're bringing in guys, Borum and guys like that. So we don't know until we see the 1st-string offense against likely an opposing team's 1st-string defense. You want to see a trend better. It does harken to the past of where the offensive line crumbled, but your starting center's not in, and Daniels is still getting himself ready, and there's a lot of moving pieces. So maybe it's hopium, maybe it's hope, but I think it's fair to let this thing play out a little longer. Obviously, you want to see the trajectory getting better. The pass game looks good. We know that. We can kind of do that. It's the run game that's going to be key and not getting the pressure. But a lot of these pressures are coming from other guys than Tua. So that's the full deal. I forgot the last part. Hill didn't show up to practice today. It was a personal thing. Some people are getting crazy on it. I don't know. I don't think it's a big deal. I don't really think it's a big deal yet. But it could be. It's Hill. So that's the whole deal. Curtis saying, be well, go Fins. Curtis out. Start building your own online sportsbook today by getting signed up with aceperhead.com service that'll allow you to book action on sports from all around the world.